If you haven't guessed by now, you probably know I like to shoot. Something else I like to do is reload. There's a lot of reasons for that. One reason is you can kind of tailor make a cartridge to fit the particular bullet your particular firearm. So for example, I don't mean you can put a 30-06 in a 40 caliber. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the amount of powder and the size projectile, how many grains of projectile is. You can kind of tailor fit that to how your firearm eats ammo, right? What it likes. So today we're going to start a small series on how to reload. Also, another benefit, if you didn't know, reloading can be cheaper. Now it can also be more expensive depending on what you're doing. For example, me, I'd rather have precision ammo than bulk ammo. So that's my thing. And it's still a little bit cheaper though, even though I use some really good bullets. I use the Hornady XTPs. They're great. I replace all my ball ammo that I shoot. I reload them with those XTPs. I really like those. It's controlled expansion. So you get penetration and you get expansion. It's kind of a win-win. So we're going to take a look at the first step today. At least the first step for me would be cleaning the brass. There's a few ways to do it. I use a tumbler with stainless steel little needle bearings, and it's a wet method. I use a little bit of soap in there as well. So let me open the lid here if I can. All right, get a look here. So these are those little stainless steel beads. They're going to clean the casings. And it's a good view right there. You're going to go in this drum. So first you need about 5 pounds of brass, right? This is all brass that I've either shot or gotten from other people that don't reload. And after I tumble it, we'll inspect it, check it, make sure it's, worth being reloaded. Some of the stuff maybe got stepped on and crimped, past the point where you want to consider using it in one of your dies. So I'm going to pour this in here. Spilled a few. 3 to be precise. There they are. All right, now I'm going to go get some water in here and a little bit of soap. Be back. Okay, so I filled this up with water, only just about 1/2 inch over the top of the brass. That should be plenty of coverage when this is spinning, okay? And I put about, let's just call it 10 or 15 drops of Dawn dish detergent in here. So now, we're gonna put the lid on. Lid on the old tumbler. Tighten it down so it doesn't leak. All right. Even out the load in there so it's not lopsided, right? Even out that load. Set it here on our tumbler. Let's see that one. Bring it in here. And we're going to set a timer. Now, with these stainless steel needle bearing things, you don't want to over tumble them, all right? You can damage the brass. So I figure about 1/2 hour, 40 minutes is plenty. We're going to go with 30 minutes. I think we'll be fine. All right, here we go. We'll let that tumble for a while. When it's done, we'll check it out. Okay, here we are. We're at 0. Let's check it out. Little sudsy. That water is nasty. Dirt, grime, oil, gunpowder, residue. So we're going to drain as much water out as we can. I'm going to go dump this and we'll be back. All right. Okay. Now I'm going to go rinse these outside with the, well, I can take you with me. A little bit of soap went a long ways. Okay, well, here's what's next. Got all our casings that are clean. You got to shake them out, put them on a paper towel. Shake them out. We're getting all those little stainless steel bearings out of them. So this is a time-consuming part. Just like that. Not real entertaining. So I'll stop the video here and continue when I'm done. There we go. There's all the little stainless steel pins. Here's our brass. Easy stuff. Next move is to knock the primer out, size the casings. All right. So, see, we've got primer in there, right? So we got to pop those out and resize these casings, because when you shoot these cartridges, they expand a little bit from the pressure, chamber pressure. So that's our next move. And let me set the camera up and we'll get to it. All right, so also something I use, I hit the casings with these. This is that one shot, it's case lube. Helps with the whole process. So grab one of our casings with the primer. Put it in here. Just like that. No more primer. We got to do that to every one of them. And I had already, before I even thought about it, put the dye in there, and I should have done that on video, and I'll get the other dyes on video. But it's pretty simple. You set it with a screw here. Actually, it's a pair of screws to get the right depth set for sizing the casing and the primer. So. Next, we need a deburring tool. We're gonna run it on the inside there and run it on the outside. And I turn them upside down so I know which ones were done and which ones weren't. Do outside or inside first, doesn't really matter. Okay, they've all been deprimed, cleaned, deprimed, sized, or resized, and deburred. So off to the next step, which is we're going to put in primers next. All right. In this case, we're using 1.5, number 1.5 small pistol primers. One-way lid. All right. Okay, now that we've punched our primers and resized our cases, we're going to open the mouth of the case wide enough to accept a 9mm projectile, 124 grain. So, here's our mouth widener. I don't know exactly what it's called. Another die. We'll pop it in there, and then we're going to check it. Grab this shell. Remember, we primered these. Put it in here. We're going to check that. Not quite. It needs to be a little wider. So what we're going to do is open this up and then screw this down. I'll have to loosen up. Loosen this guy up. Okay. Try that. Oh, perfect. So it sits right on the top. And then we'll just continue. Going through each and every one of them. All right, so now we're going to get our book out, the Reloading Bible, because we need to know if we're shooting 124 grain XTPs, Hornady XTPs, what kind of powder to use and how much of it. So, one of my favorite powders for 9mm load is CFE Pistol. If we look at that, see this book here. You can look at that page real quick and pause it when you want to study it. But CFE Pistol, right here, 5.1 grains puts us at 1100 feet per second on a 24 or 124 grain projectile. So that's pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and go with 5 grains. Leave off that 0.1, a little margin for error. Okay, so. Here, keep any flies or gnats out. I don't think flies or gnats make good gunpowder. 4.8. Powder. Measure again. 5.2. I'm going to dump a little out. That's probably too much. 4.9. Yeah, close enough. But if we want perfection, we'll get this trickler going. Okay, see that. And we'll add powder until it hits 5. 4.95. That's money. We'll put our shell here. Get our next one. Check it. Zero it. Fill it up. Check it. 5.1. Really? Five. All right. Precision. Isn't that what it's all about? All right, I'll get the rest of these done, then we'll tune back in again. Okay, so that's done. We've got powder in all of our casings. Make sure you check. You don't want to squib load. That's why I turn mine over as I do them, so I don't have them all facing up, so I lose track, and that can be a real bad thing. You get a squib load, right? So looks like our total length for the bullet compression here is going to be 1 inch 6/10, so 1.060. So now that we know that, we've got our calipers here. What I do to get set up quicker is I get a bullet that's already done and I check it against that. So I'll put that all the way down and I'll screw this down until it touches. Same thing on top. And now I know I'm close. So we'll grab one here and we'll just start. And before we start, so I did notice as I was going through these, if you see that primer is in backwards. I primered one upside down, so good to check all those as well, right? So we're short one. Our bullet, get our casing, we'll set it in here. And now we're going to check it. We're at 1.7. We need 1.60. We're at 1.7. So we need to reduce that just a touch, but we're going to add some crimp to it. So that's actually going to come out just perfect. So to add crimp, we're going to shrink this whole die down just a touch. All right, we'll give that a shot. You don't want to crimp them a lot, just a little, or it can kink the casing. 158, 160, 158, we're right there. So, you know, 2/100ths of an inch isn't gonna make or break you. So we're set. It's good to check them now and again, make sure you're still there. So now I'm just a touch under 4/1000 of an inch. I think we're all right. I might want to change that just a touch. Money. That one felt loose. Why was that? That's good. Again, just checking them. Just can't help it. Good stuff, good ammo. You know what we got to do next, right? We got to take these out and shoot them, or at least shoot some of them. 1/1000th off. All right. Okay. Let me show you what's next. All right, now we're going to jump into a cartridge gauge, right? So we want to make sure that these shells, these cartridges, will chamber in our weapon. If you over crimp them, they don't chamber all the way. You can jam up or a failure to feed will happen. So you get one of these cartridge gauges, 9mm, and it's going to fit in all the way, go in nice and smooth, just like that. Let's use our box again. So we know that one's good, and we're going to check them all. And hopefully we have a bad one so I can show you the difference. But I sized it, oh, right there, perfect. See that? Did not slide in. That would be a bad round. And you might get one or two of those per box you do, maybe. I mean, I'm just glad I got one because it's nice to show you what I'm talking about there. If you've seen the video I have on the pile driver, I can take them apart completely, except for the primer. I don't know that I could, well, I can get the primer out too, but I don't know if it'd be any good. I suppose it should be, as long as it doesn't blow up, right? Or if I don't bend it or kink it. What was this one? That was good. All right, so there we go. So now these are all ready to go. We know they'll chamber because we used our gauge. We know it's exactly 5 grains of powder, 124 grain bullet, and primer, and ready to go. So let's go shoot some of these. All right, here we are. There we go. Our fresh, newly loaded cartridges that you guys helped me reload. It's our Glock 48. We're going to shoot 10 rounds of it and see how it works. I have a special guest here today, Mr. Pumpkin. He's the relative of the other pumpkin that I wasn't supposed to shoot. Supposed to be for pumpkin pie, but apparently I can have this one now because it takes 2 to make a pumpkin pie. So we're chambered. Put some iPro on. We've got our hearing protection in. All right, here we go. I want to set that pumpkin back up. Okay, take 2. Here we go. I guess it's just not going to stay up there, is it? Well, I have an idea. I'll just move the log instead. See, all right? That's it. Seems like they shoot pretty good, huh? So those are those Hornady XDPs. I like them. Again, they're great. They're controlled expansion. So that's what I use. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Sorry I didn't go into too great a detail, but I didn't want to bore everyone to death. And as always, if you like what I'm doing, please like and subscribe. See you next time.